really fucking will. They are powerful, some of them. He looks Ukrainian. I don't think he does. I think maybe he's got something like, I don't know, Cypriot or something. You don't know. Are they still legal? Yes, depending on the size and the weight, I believe. Crossbows, I believe they're legal depending on the size and weight. I might be slightly out of touch with that. Has been a while since I've been involved with any type of firearms. The crossbows do have a lot of power. They have a lot of power. Like I was saying, this is taking place in a house, very close quarters combat. A crossbow fired 2 foot away from you, depending on the weight of the crossbow and the power of it, it could literally take you off your feet and pin you to the wall. I know that seems like something out of a movie, but it's not actually that far-fetched with some of the crossbows that are fucking out there. Believe me, they are fucking powerful weapons. They're designed for hunting more, so you have to think about it. You want them fucking the animal or whatever, sort of a good sized animal when you're out hunting. Could use crossbows to take down bears and stuff. You know, these two girls don't look like bears. Crossbows are very easy to get hold of. Easier than anything to get hold of, in fact. You could go up to... I've seen seaside resorts where they sell weapons and they would have a selection of crossbows there, along with like daggers and all that stuff and air rifles. Crossbows are always there. I've seen crossbows up and down the country for sale. He did literally hunt them in their own home, correct. Literally has hunted them in their own home. It's mad. It's a mad place we live in. But like I was saying, he is ex-army. That's information doesn't seem to be widely available on the internet. I think it should be taken into consideration because you have got basic training. If you've been in the army for X amount of time, you've done your basic training. You've got a certain amount of skills that are considered to be a danger to the public when you're in this kind of frame of mind. That information should be widely out there. I don't know why it ain't. Yeah, no, he got. This is what I'm saying. He could be anywhere in the UK, but I do believe he's still local because the police have been advising schools to go into a light lockdown and houses, people to stay in their houses, in their residence, in the shops, locking all the doors and windows. So they clearly have information to suggest that he is still local to the surrounding area. Otherwise, the police wouldn't be advising people to everyone stay in and the schools doing local lockdowns. So it does seem he's still, and they have information that he is still local to where this has happened. I do think he's going to be found dead. I think he'll pop himself off if the police don't have a standoff of him and they do it themselves. He ends himself probably. I think the same thing, Big Keza. I mean, you've got to be filled with a certain type of rage or have a mental capacity that is completely diminished. If you're going to do such an act like this in broad daylight, you know, 6, 7 o'clock at night, people, and I put the video on my page, the recent video. It shows him fleeing the scene. I say fleeing, he's walking away with the crossbow underneath his arms. Pardon me. And he's got like a little blanket under it. Some people are saying in the comments that that is not their street. I don't know, whatever. But I suppose people are going to chat a lot of shit, aren't they? But yeah, the video, he's quite fucking blasé, I think is the right word, considering the act he's just carried out. He's walking away, casually walking away. What you have to remember, that all the 2 girls and the mother were still alive. They were fighting for their lives. They were screaming, okay, when this was happening and as it's taken place. The lady's all screaming. He's just walking out the house casually, like he can't hear anything. You can see people walking past looking because they can clearly hear a commotion. And he gets in his car slowly, puts away the crossbow, puts it in the boot, gets in the driver's car, sits there for about 10-15 seconds and slowly just drives off. When in the distance, I'm sure you'd be able to hear screaming. Blood-curdling screams, literally, of the 3 girls dying. Because when the first aiders responded and turned up, the first aid paramedics turned up, the first responders, they were all still alive. They were fighting for their lives, but unfortunately, as time went on, they were pronounced dead at the scene, all 3 of them. It just goes to show the extent of the injuries as well. There is reports that he was done it with a crossbow, but also probably a knife as well. It's fucking mad. So he's clearly fucking mental, fucking deranged mentalist, you know, not trying to hide it, not trying to escape. You know, he's not erratic in his fleeing and his getting away. He's very slowly, casually, just not giving a fuck, very blasé. The video's on my page, the last video. You can make it out as you want. It's fucking bizarre story. Yeah, it's heartbreaking, but what leads someone to do that? What? Just go to the club and meet some other girls and get on with life. Why do you have to go and do this? And the thing is, right, so many lives have been affected here. It's not just, you know, his family, their family, the neighbours. Think of the first responders that were first on the scene, that would have seen the 3 women possibly pinned to the floor, pinned to the wall, with multiple injuries and stab wounds, bleeding out from everywhere, screaming, please, I don't want to die. And they all die, and you're a paramedic that were first on the scene, and you have to witness that. How? You're fucked. I don't care, you're fucked in the head. There's only a certain amount of counselling and therapy and support. You can't change what's up there when you see stuff like that. Believe me, it fucks with your head for life. It's fucking mad. The whole thing's fucking mad. The whole thing is fucking wild. Yeah, he clearly had his ego hurting after rejection. You're right there, Nora. That's what it, you know, again, we don't know the details, so we can only speculate and assume here. But this is a common thing, unfortunately, especially with men. I know it does happen to men with females like that, but it does seem to be more regularly men that have this rage of breakup violence. I don't even know the right word to word it, or if there's a term for this. You know, it's like some males that just get like this obsessive jealousy, rage, that if they're being ignored or if they're talking to another man, they'll just fucking kill everyone involved. And what's the point, bruv? Just move on. Even if they were in the wrong at the first place and they done you dirty, just move on. I've been done the dirty many times in the past. I just move on. Fuck you and move on and better myself and learn from it. But you don't need to go and do what you've just done there, bruv. Yeah, I've lived in abusive relationships, believe me. I've witnessed it, I've been victim to it, right? And it's easier to say than just walk away. It's never that easy, right? Because at times, this person may mentally have you fucking screwed up and in a position where you can't just fucking walk away. It's not, people say just walk away and stuff, it's an abusive relationship. Sometimes you don't even, sometimes you're blind that it's fucking going on, right? Trust me, sometimes you don't even fucking realise it's happening, you know, until it gets to a certain fucking point and you're like, yeah, this is fucked. But then you think back and you're like, this was happening ages ago, this started ages ago. So it's hard with relationships because you could be blind to it, you could be both blind to it, and it's happening, you know, it's all fucked. It's all fucked. But all the details will eventually start to come out, what's made him snap. So just someone put it on there. It will eventually start to come out. The truth always comes out. Every fucking time the truth will come out. And that's the thing, right? There will be people out there that will try to paint the people that have died as the bad people, right? No matter what they've done, if they cheated and dipped around and fucking whatever, it doesn't matter. Right, to go and do this, nah. Just out them on public, on social media, out in public if they've done dirty. You know, get the evidence, get the facts. If they want to fucking try it, just out them. You know, really fucking humiliate them for their behaviour. Don't go and murder the entire family, because it's the first aiders and responders that have to live with what they've witnessed. There's so many people, it has such a knock-on effect. Did he hurt them? He killed all 3 of them. All 3 have been killed. Imagine being the other sister that wasn't there. And now imagine if she was the one that was in a relationship with him. That would be Poor fucking girl, could you imagine? But I don't believe that's the case. I believe it was one of these two. I've already read which one it is, but it's gone out my fucking memory already. I should start making notes, shouldn't I? They got him. No, they haven't. Behave. I would have got a notification on my phone immediately saying they got him. Just looking through my phone now, just in case. Jay Slater cops think... Police believe Jay Slater could be alive. Oh, I've got to save that bullshit and have a read of that. I don't know what my fucking makes them think that. Oh, so, okay. So, see what I was saying earlier, guys? What, 10, 15 minutes ago? It's just starting to come up now. So, this guy... Carl, call him. What's his fucking surname? Can't remember. Clifford. I can't see any messages here, guys. We're just reading my notifications. I said he's ex-army, didn't I? It's just come up that he's an ex-army dropout. So I'm going to have a little read of that shortly, guys. I'm going to come off shortly because I do want to read about that. Remember, guys, I was saying that he's ex-army. I've just got a notification from mainstream media sources saying that he's an army dropout. So to me, that means one of two things. He either hasn't completed his basic 9-month training up in North Yorkshire, or wherever the fuck they hold it these days, for light infantry and stuff like that. So if he's doing army, he's probably doing infantry. Or he's gone AWOL. So that could be after he's completed his training and he's gone to his regiment to train with them. You have to do a certain amount of time within the army before you leave. So I think it sounds like he hasn't completed his basic training. He's gone to do the army, learn a few bits, and then he's left, which sometimes can be the most dangerous ones because they try to infiltrate, learn a certain amount of information, and then fuck off and leave to commit acts of whatever. So I'm just speculating here, but that's what I think on my experience, that's what he's all about. So he's an ex-army dropout. To me, that is saying one of two things. I'm going to go with the latter. The first one I said that he hasn't completed his basic 9-month training up in North Yorkshire if he's doing infantry, which I believe he has because I just saw a picture and it looks very similar to basic infantry attire. Yeah, I didn't think he had been found either. I think that was a load of bollocks what people are putting in there. He is a law-abiding Christian. For fuck's sake. What's he done? I've still got a few people sitting here saying, what's he done? So I'm going to summarise for the new people that have just joined. I said a good while ago that he's ex-army. It's just been revealed that this guy is an ex-army dropout. I believe that means he hasn't done his basic 9-month training. He has gone and murdered with a crossbow. These two sisters, he had a relationship with one of them quite some time ago, not recent. And he also has murdered the mother. The father wasn't present, and the third sister, the third daughter, was also not present at the time of the attack. I put a video on my profile. It's of him fleeing the scene with the crossbow under a blanket under his arms, popping it into the car and casually driving away, while the sisters and the mother would have been literally screaming for their life, bleeding out heavily. Police are still looking for them. They have instructed local schools to enforce a light lockdown, so locking all of the gates, locking the structures, not letting the kids out to the playgrounds or out of the areas, keeping them locked in the buildings, and they're also advising the residents to stay indoors, keeping everything locked. So it is essentially a local lockdown because I believe they have been tipped off that he is in the area. He's been spotted, or they have reason to believe that he's local, which is why they're telling the schools to lock their gates and people to lock their doors and everything else, the windows and shit. So it looks like he's still local. I don't think he's going to be found alive, though. I think he's going to pop himself off with a rope or with the bow himself. I can't see this going down well. Like I said, he's ex-army. He's a dropout. Normally when that happens and you have incidents like this, they join the army to learn certain skills and techniques to then carry out acts I'll be interesting to know when he had a relationship with one of the sisters and if it was before or after the army. That would speak a lot. I'm going to guess here, people. I'm going to guess that he had a relationship with one of the sisters before he joined the army. He dropped out in 2022, so 2 years ago. I'm going to say he dropped out because people are saying, I'm reading the comments at the same time here. He was one of the exes, yes. People are saying he's been caught. Why do people saying in here he's been caught? The dad is the BBC racing commentator, John Hunt. Had to think of the name there. He hasn't been found. No, I didn't think he has been found. People are talking absolute waffle. Give yourself a smack around the face. If you keep saying he's been caught when he hasn't. If you're just joining, guys, I have got a video of him fleeing the scene on my profile with the crossbow under his arms. No, they found his car and they've raided a couple of properties where he was staying and also relatives of his. Although no one was put in handcuffs, it was kind of seen that I think it was the mother was walking out of a number of officers, talking to them freely, not in handcuffs or anything, walking down towards the police car. Yeah, rest in peace to them women, man. That is fucking awful, you know. And people have to remember, a crossbow is a brutal fucking weapon. It's designed for hunting. Crossbows are made for hunting large animals, like bears, like all sorts of fucking large animals that have the potential to cause harm to humans. A crossbow in a residence, in a house, at very close quarters combat, has the potential to literally take you off your feet and put you against the wall, pin you against the wall. So you have to bear in mind and respect the first responders that have been on the scene to this, because all three women were still alive. They were fighting for their lives. They would have been screaming and bleeding out everywhere. They all got pronounced eventually dead on the scene, unfortunately. And crossbows are easily available across the UK. If you go into seaside resorts or markets on seaside resorts, you'll probably find stalls that sell a wide range of fucking crossbows, and they are lethal. I've said from day one, I don't understand how anyone can just buy a fucking crossbow off the market in Skegness, for example. It's absolutely mad. It's absolutely mad. The family have been announced as John Hunt's family, the BBC commentator for live racing. His wife and his two daughters. The third daughter was not at the property at the time of the attack. Yeah, you can buy all sorts of knives, whips, chains, air rifles. I've seen so much. And I have to be honest, right? When I was young, you know, you have to bear in mind, I was living in London by myself at 16, yeah? I had no family around me. I was 16, living in West London by myself. I was involved in gangs. I was doing a lot of dodgy shit because I had to. I had no choice. In order to survive in a very violent fucking area, I had to be a certain type of individual, all right? I've gone to these markets and I've bought these weapons, right? They don't ask any questions. They ask if you would like a bag or if you'd like to double bag it. Yeah? You have to remember, these weapons are everywhere, and they have been for ages. They have been for ages, and it's never going to change. It's there'll be calls for it. Of course, there were calls for shit 20 years ago. Nothing's changed. Yeah, someone just said about how traumatic for the paramedics. Absolutely. You've got to think of the paramedics, you know. It's like I said earlier, there's only a certain amount of counselling and therapy and talking about it and support that will only get you so far. Stuff like that. When you see traumatic events like what the paramedics would have witnessed here. Thank you, Dave McIntosh. Big up, bruv. Good to see you. It fucks your mind for life. It haunts you for life. You'll never get rid of it. There'll be certain little things that happen in life that will take you back to that moment, right back to there. You'll start sweating and getting that prickly heat on your head. You've got to feel for the paramedics that have witnessed this, the first people on the scene. Mate, that would have been fucking brutal. Absolutely fucking brutal. Yeah, it is PTSD for life, you know. It's the type of PTSD that will affect you for life, no matter what therapy you get, what medication, you know. I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to talk about me. But everyone deals with it in their own way, you know. And I've been lucky from the stuff that I've seen and witnessed and been involved in. How I am now, I am fucking a very low majority of very lucky people that is very strong mentally, and a lot of people ain't. And seeing stuff like that is so fucking... It haunts you beyond words, beyond your belief, beyond what you could imagine. He has been found in Southgate. Someone keeps spamming that in there. Guys, can you check that for me? Can someone verify that for me real quick? If he has been found in Southgate. Someone keeps spamming that in here. People need to stop with is he Muslim and stuff. But behave yourself, man. You get bad apples no matter where you go, what you do. Sports teams, work colleagues, family, friends, religions, fucking bars. Wherever you go, you get bad apples wherever you go. Stop just... Is it because he's got a beard? Behave, man. Nothing about him being apprehended in Southgate. No, so... Thank you everyone. So, again, I've got another waffler in here. Why do people lie? We're quick to figure shit out, man. Yeah, people going about Muslim, this Muslim, behave yourself, man. I have lived and grown up in the Borough of Hounslow, yeah? That's Southall, that's London, that's Hounslow, sorry, that's Ealing, that's Feltham, yeah? Going by the way people talk about Muslims, I should have been beheaded a long time ago. My head is sitting perfectly on my fucking shoulders right now. The third woman, so the mother... She died as well, but the other sister, there was a third sister. I don't know where she was or where she is now, but she wasn't at the house at the time of the attack. And she wasn't the ex-partner of this boyfriend, of this bloke either, Carl. It was one of these two. Yeah, I did say he looks slightly Cypriot, maybe. Potentially, but you don't know. Well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, the father and the daughter, poor fucking John Hunt, you know, because it seems like they've been together, and this is the tragic thing, right? How often do you get 3 kids still with the same mum and dad together, living in the same house, like an actual proper family, and instead of stepdad, stepmum, stepsister, this, that, and the other? Yeah, John Hunt and Carol Hunt were together for a very long time, and they've had 3 kids together, and now they've been completely butchered. It's mad. Yeah, so some people are backing up what I said in earlier. Most schools in the area have got sent home by police. I have read that other schools have gone into a light lockdown, word-on-word quote there, where they are locking the gates, they're locking the doors, they're keeping the kids in the classroom. They're not under the desks or anything like that, but they are locking all doors, locking all gates, and not letting the kids go out. And they are telling local residents, of course, to stay indoors and lock the windows and lock the doors. That, essentially, is the police enforcing a local lockdown because of a mad fucking cunt that's on the loose. And the mad thing is, guys, I've got the video on my profile, if you haven't seen it, of him walking out of the house after he's carried out the attack. I'm going to be on here for about another 5 minutes, guys. 5:15. I need to come off. I need to get ready to go and see my lads. Just reading some of the comments here. Fucking hell. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Someone just put on there, who am I? I am Virus Geezer. Who are you? Who are you? Yes, they are dead, George, unfortunately. Who are you? Is it weird? I'm looking at this now. I've got 666 people in this live. 666. The one time I look at it. Fucking hell. This was North London in Bushey. Police are swarming the area at the moment. His name is Kyle Clifford. That is his governmental name, I believe. I'm just going to summarise again. I'm on it for another 5 minutes. I'm going to summarise everything that we kind of know so far. So this guy, Kyle Clifford, 26, is an ex-army dropout. Judging from the pictures I see, I'm going to go with light infantry of infantry. And it sounds like to me he hasn't completed his basic 9-month training up in North Yorkshire and he's dropped out. Done this in 2002. Now, he had a relationship with one of these two sisters. I can't remember which one it was. But this relationship ended quite some time ago. It's not a recent thing. Shout out to Dan the man. Big up yourself. It's not a recent thing. So I do question if he was with one of the girls before he joined the army, during or after. That I want to know. He has, however, gone up to their house, got into their house by whatever means with a crossbow, and he shot dead the mother, these two sisters, with a crossbow at close range. Again, what you have to bear in mind, crossbows are very powerful. They are hunting weapons for large animals. At close quarters combat in a house, where they would have been, they could have been taken off their feet, pinned up against walls, nailed down to floors. It would have been absolutely fucking brutal. Feel for the first responders, the paramedics that would have turned up to the scene of this, because all three of them were still alive, fighting for their life. Unfortunately, they all passed away, pronounced dead on the scene. I have a video on my profile of Carl brazenly walking out the house after he has carried out his attack. Bear this in mind with his body language, how he's leaving. Bear in mind there is screams, blood-curdling screams echoing out down the street as they are all screaming, fighting for their life. He's oblivious to it, completely blasé, slowly, casually gets into his car, slowly, casually puts his weapon away, sits in his car for a number of, 10, 15 seconds before slowly driving away. Clearly, the man's got no fucks. He's clearly very fucking delusional. I don't think he's going to be found alive. I think he's going to pop himself off one way or another. Or the police are going to have a standoff and he's going to be fucking done in that way. I can't see him being put in handcuffs here. There is a third sister. The first sister was not present at the house. She was out at the time of the attack. And John Hunt, the BBC commentator of Racing Live, he also wasn't at the premises. Fuck knows what else is going to come out to light shortly. It doesn't matter what these girls have done or what has happened. You know, even if they were in the wrong in the relationship or someone cheated, doesn't matter. Doesn't excuse for all of these people to be butchered, as you know, in such a fucking brutality way as well. I live in Enfield. I know Enfield very well. Big up everyone in Enfield. I don't live in Enfield. I know Enfield very well. I'm coming off in about 3 minutes, guys. I have got the video on my profile of him leaving. I might be back on later, so drop me a quick follow if you want fucking updates. I'll try and keep you up to date. It doesn't matter if he's Muslim or not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Why are people, sick people in here, saying Carl's army? Why? What the fuck? I've got people in my life saying Carl's army. I think I need to get some moderators, but I'm not popular enough yet, I don't feel. People saying he's cute. You people need fucking putting down, man. Evil Snoopy. Everyone needs to get on that evil Snoopy's case. Loads of people offering to mod for me. Thank you very much. I'm still seeing people saying this guy is cute. I know they're not talking about me. They're talking about this fuckhead here. Thank you to everyone that's saying it's going to mod for me, or they're willing to. It's something I need to bear in mind. I don't understand all this live stuff yet and everything it can do and mods and what they're needed for. I guess it's to get rid of pricks like this. But thank you to everyone. I still need to look into it a bit more and educate myself. But thank you, everyone. I will be very careful, Stacey, who I mod. Yes. I do think he might be in Enfield right now, simply because the police have asked local schools to lock their doors. I'm not sure what the situation with the schools are now. This is about after 3 o'clock. They were telling the kids that they can't leave. They're telling the parents not to come to the school just yet. They're locking everything down. And that tells me that they would have information that does suggest he's local still to the area. Either being a witness or witnesses or information, someone grassing him up. So schools are on lockdown. The cell is still on lockdown now, so that's mad. It's 5:15. Some schools are still on lockdown, which does suggest they're carrying out more raids, and they have very strong beliefs that they are going to find him within the next couple of hours, it seems like, guys. I'm going to make it, should I say this? They have to be very careful. If he's ex-army dropout, it depends on what stage he dropped out. He would have learned a certain amount of information about explosives. If he's looking to go out in a blaze of glory here, he could have set up a little device here that could potentially triggered upon a door being caved in. Hopefully he's not that fucking clever. But I do think something's going to really kick off here. I think we're hours away from this ending very dramatically. Right, guys, I'm going to jump off on that note. Hopefully I'm completely wrong. But just based on my experience and looking at him and what he's actually carried out, I'm not fucking scaremongering. I'm saying off my own experience, right? He's dropped out of the army. He would have learnt a certain amount of skills. You have to question why he would have dropped out of the army. For him to then go and carry out acts like this, he's clearly a very fucking dodgy character. How is this all going to end? Do you think he's going to come out peacefully in handcuffs? I don't fucking think he is. Right, guys, I'm jumping off. We're going to find out. I reckon it'll be a couple of hours.